Contrast uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people and politic on success. Oh no, we ain't DJ Khaled, but they swearing we the best. Contrast uncut, contrast uncut, contrast uncut, contrast uncut.
What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut, Season 3, Episode 27. Man, big shout outs to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. It's your host, Zylo, aka DJ Juan Dollars, like I won some money. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very dope special guest. We have a super producer. You know, he's a part of the big time production team, T.O.D, Track Or Die. He's a Grammy winner, RIA certified gold and platinum from singles to albums. I mean, he's worked with some of our favorite artists such as Lecrae, Meek Mills, Jacob Lattimore. His new project just dropped. 2 Chainz, Dave East, Don Tripp, Starlito, Nipsey Hussle. One of my favorite songs. I mean, even my kids sing this song, Hussle and Motivate. And I mean, bro, many, many more. I'm talking about D.O. Speaks, everybody. How you doing, brother?
What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate you having me on, bro. Love what you're doing. Love the movement. Thank you, brother.
Hey, that's major. You know, we just trying to put one foot in front of another and make a difference while we doing it.
Absolutely, man. What's good? What's good? How you been?
Bruh, I can't complain, bruh. You know, I'm out the way, you know, just trying to make the most of everything I got. Some of these interviews I get to do in person for the 3rd season. Some of them I can't. You know, it's the whole boundaries of the social distancing and you know, what's allowed.
Right.
This week I went to the studio, and so I'm like, you know, we're starting to get a little normalcy, a little normal.
Yeah, it'll be better. You know, a little bit by little bit, you know, it'll be good.
Oh, yeah. Make the best out of everything.
Right.
So, bro, I got this quote, you know, let me know how it relates to you, or if it doesn't, it's all good. The whole idea is I want you to talk about it. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready to go.
Most important thing to get rid of is doubt. If you got doubt in what you're doing, it's not going to work. Nipsey Hussle the Great.
Absolutely.
So how does that relate to you?
Man, bro, doubt is something that I had to really deal with a lot, man. Being in the music industry, you will get tested to your core as far as, am I good enough? Is my music good enough? Will I even be able to make it? So really, like, when you actually quoted that and actually taught, and Nipsey actually said that, I've been following him for years. So I was a fan. I was a fan of his work, a fan of his quotes, of his drive, of his determination, of what he was trying to do with his life. So the ability to work with him just let me know that, yo, you don't have to be a star. You don't have to be at an elite level to really feel like you're successful. And that doubt, you know, turned into that belief, to where it's like, with that action, it allowed me to eliminate that doubt. And so that a lot of those things I learned from my parents, specifically from my father. You know, my parents, they were born in Kenya and they brought me over here. So that kind of determination, that kind of confidence to go from struggling and not knowing, you know, if we were going to eat, or, you know, if we were going to survive, or, you know, I would sleep in a car sometimes when I was little, and my mom would go to work and my dad would have to drop her off. He'd have to go to LA and, you know, work and drop me off in preschool and pick me up later in the evening. And that let me know that doubt can be eliminated with that action, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, when you come from the struggle like that, and you know, you're figuring out everything that's next, and in some households it's provided at no cost, at no thought, it's just done in people's households. I come from the same background as you, brother, so I know exactly what you mean. And you know, I can't say my family's not from Kenya. It's just, you know, my family. I wish I could say something incredible like that, because, bro, you know, you guys are incredible specimen when it comes to like athletic gifts and determination. Like, because, you know, you guys are the marathon runners.
Yep. I did that 400 meters in high school, man. They told me I can't run the 100, but I could run the long distance. So I was like, oh, I know why y'all told me that. That Kenya blood.
Bro, and you know, like, shit, But the whole thing I was bringing up is that we do come from the struggle, and my dad, he was successful, and then he passed away, and then we ain't have nothing, and trying to figure it out day to day is a struggle. And so that puts a
Yeah.
different determination on how you see things, how you believe things. The normal thing of like, man, when I went to school, that was lunch, that was breakfast, that was that was the thing. And when it came, we just focused on that one meal again.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes you didn't know when it was going to come, but it did. If it didn't, then you figured out how to make it happen, man. But I mean, look at us now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So no, when I read that quote, because I was going through all his quotes, and I try to use as much as Nipsey as I can, just because he's so influential with so many different words. His words didn't just touch you; they inspired you. They made you move. And words that make mountains move are definitely the words you should choose.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, it's all about really just breaking down those barriers and those walls. Anything can happen, man. I'm a true believer that anything can happen. Anything's possible.
So, brother, on that note, I got to ask you, I'm talking about music here. Did the game choose you, or did you choose the game?
One more time, say that again.
Did the game choose you, or did you choose the game?
I chose the game. I chose the game. I chose it, and I went forward with it. I've been musically inclined for some time. Just I grew up doing music. My mother, in the church. I know a lot of people say that. A lot of producers say that. Oh yeah, I was brought up in the church, but yeah, that was facts. And production just kind of came in as a thing that a friend of mine, a longtime friend of mine, that he was like, "Yo, man, just make me some beats, man." And I had no idea what I was doing. But I was just like, yo, I could really make something happen with this. And, with that determination and learning, obviously, and getting that skill up, it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah, the church puts an amazing foundation for people to really learn how to use instruments, really learn pitches, know what harmony is, know what rhythm is. Bro, I was the only white person in the choir, and boy, when I stepped left and everyone stepped right, I stood out worse than anything.
But yeah, I know what you mean, man. And for real, like I don't have a real good singing voice. I can sing in the shower or in my car by myself, but I can carry a little tune. So I know you probably a lot better than me.
But back in the day, my voice was, it was a little bit more eclectic than it is now. It's just it's settled. Versus when I had range, so I got to be put in environments that I was like, oh yeah.
I wish I did choir, man. I really did, but hey, it's all good.
I mean, being standing up with 80 other people in 3-4 different rows, looking at the drummer, the keyboard, all the different that's just one person. It's like, oh, I'd rather be that one person.
Right. Exactly. Just stand out. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. So, man, that's what got you started into it. And then, so what was like your first confirmation that, music is what you're supposed to be doing?
The first confirmation was the Lecrae album. And that was the first time I met my guy, Street Symphony, man. And it was random, bro. It was on Twitter. He was like, yo, I'm looking for stuff for Lecrae. You know how it is, man. These emails, you take your shot at it. There's probably thousands and millions of them. Who's really going to look at your email and be like, oh, he got what it takes? But that's exactly what happened. Now, I'm a big believer in favor in God and opportunity and timing. And he hit me back. Yo, hit me back with his number, and he was like, yo, this stuff is fire. And I think, with that belief, he kind of helped me, gain that confidence a little bit more. Like, okay, this might turn into something. But, that doubt was still there. It wasn't as big as it was, but it was still there a little bit. I was just like, oh, we'll see what happens from here. Turned out to be the greatest decision I made thus far. And, look, you got a Grammy, Lecrae, Gravity. It went on to do incredible things. He had a series of mixtapes, Church Clothes, Volume 1, Volume 2. And look where we're at now.
Yeah, no, Lecrae is a great big start. And it's very rare that you get a testimony of, I sent an email with my beats in it. And, not only did they use it, but they called me back, gave me my credit, and, allowed me to rock. A lot of times you get these other stories where, people get lost in the shambles and, oh, I recognize that sound, but that's not my name and I ain't get paid.
And that's the biggest thing too. I think that's the biggest thing with creators too. You know, we love our credit. We love that, you know, because the artist is at the forefront. No one's really gonna ask who did that beat. Not all the time. You have a few people who are invested into the music who are like, yo, that beat's crazy. I want to know who did it. They'll look up on Wikipedia, you know, and go check it out or look at the credits that we have now on like Spotify or Tidal. But a lot of times, most people are just like, I love the song. So the producer, our credit is really where it's at, you know, and us being able to get that. And that's like our sacred ground right there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are the people that get a blank canvas, throw your
Yeah,
paint on there with sounds, and leave enough space for an artist to get on there. And then you know what's
absolutely.
crazy is that if you take away the beat in a party and all you have is just vocals, what do you have? You got a
hmm
speech going on. And it can't
hmm
one party to that. Can anyone enjoy that? No.
Yeah,
But you go into a party and you remove that vocal and you let that beat play, that party gonna keep on going. That's the energy. And so, you know, I gotta
exactly.
make sure I take off my hats. That's why I mess with the producers a lot. Like I love the artists because you know the ability to take a range from your voice and do those things is incredible. But you know,
hmm
I got to make sure we spend the time and we acknowledge all the producers, especially that create such incredible art that leaves an imprint.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I agree with you. And it's actually, you know, there's been a lot of debate about the producer and the importance of them right now, especially, you know, should producers get credit? Should producers get paid their advances? Are producers that important to a record? You know, are they, you know, and I understand that. I get that, you know, with the vocal and the melody, we can get into all the, you know, the minor details and the major details of it. But I mean, if you think about it, when I think about This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan, when I hear that first 4 bars of it and I'm hearing that beat and it takes me back to those certain moments. It takes me back to maybe the time I watched House Party or something, or I saw his video on, you know, BET or 106 in Park, or just looked it up on YouTube. You always get that familiar tune that you can recognize, you know, goes with Jay-Z, Beyonce, Lecrae, you never know. So,
Exactly. And so let me ask you this: what was some of your highs and lows through, you know, your transitions from going from Lecrae to the next, you know, the next chapter, working with Street Symphony and you know, layering up the, you know, who we see today?
man, bro, I would tell you this, and I've told this to someone very important to me. After Lecrae, I was on my highest horse possible. My confidence was like, I could do anything now. I'm a Grammy winner. Now I'm about to get all this work. They about to start hitting me up, bro. It was the lowest time of my life. Like literally, it was like 2 years where I was like, I'm about to be getting so many placements. And it really put me in that perspective of I'm only thinking about what I can receive. And I think that kind of blocked that blessing. And I wasn't thinking about, okay, what can I give that kid, you know, help this? Because as cliche as it sounds that, you know, oh, you know, we want to strive and do our own thing and be successful on our own, you have to still provide that value. You know, what are you bringing to that table? And yeah, so yeah, when I was having those conversations with myself, I was like, yo, what's going on? I know I saw things here and there that came in, but nothing really major. And I was like, yo, what do I need to do? The music sounds good. So, but, you know, I got to kind of adjust to the situation, and things kind of took off after that. You know, it was just all about getting better. Just all about getting better and not having that I mindset. So, yeah, but it was a dark time, bro. I'll
That's
be right.
amazing because he
It was a
said,
dark time.
"It's high. I'm at the Grammys. I won a Grammy, and then you know
Yeah.
my expectations of what I really thought life was gonna be like. It didn't even get close. I got recognition, and then but the farther point of it slowed down. Like, man, is it me in the mirror? Because I know it ain't the sound, and crazy the reflection of it, and then the
Yeah,
growth.
yeah, and then
And
you get to a point to where you start doubting yourself a little bit, or judging yourself, and you start thinking, you know, am I good enough? Once again, we go back to that doubt again when things don't go good. But you know, that's where you got to have that mental stability. You got to have your mind right. You know, whether you're religious or not, you know, you got to have that, you know, that determination to really go forward and really do it, man. You got to push. You got to push through those walls.
I love that old school saying of that you got to walk by faith and not by sight. And, you know, as much as
Absolutely.
it is a challenge to just do it and easy to say, a lot of people just don't realize that's the separation between people making it and not making it. People
Mhm.
living the dreams and people.
Right. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. Walk by
So,
faith, not by sight.
absolutely. So what was your biggest moment that you could say so far in your career that you were like, you know what, I can't believe it. I gotta pinch my skin. You know, I gotta make sure it's real.
Hmm. I think really that that first big placement to me was definitely that Nip record, man. That Nip record was the biggest one to me. I mean, we worked with Meek Mill, and that was incredible, man. You know, but we went through some amazing times. I think that Nip record was the one, because really the story behind it, I'm sure we'll get into it deeper, but the fact that there was so much doubt, and I keep saying it again, that record was actually not gonna go through. We had so many people say and tell us, "Hey, man, I don't know about that one, man." And from there, that was the one I was just like, "Yo, that's it." I still have the album like wrapped up in the, in the in the package and everything. I'm never gonna open it. Looking at those credits on the album and stuff like that, that was incredible, man. And getting nominated for it, nominated for a Grammy for it. It was incredible. The video, you seen your work on the screen, that's just the gratification. I'm a junkie, man. I'm a music junkie and nerd, so I love all that crazy stuff like that.
That was what, top video 2010 decade. It was, you're part of the
Yeah,
top album of the decade. I mean,
yeah, man.
accolade is definitely something not to sleep on. And I mean, bro,
Mhm.
Hussle and Motivate is one of my favorite songs, and it's such an interesting beat that it catches you because it's like a roaring beat that gets you. Like once you're got, it's like, oh, I need that again.
Mhm.
And then he's so enticing, the words the Nipsey chooses, and it's like it's
Mhm.
yourself on.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a dope bounce. You can be in a car, you can do your thing with it, but if you really listen to the content behind it, he's speaking facts. I mean, that's really how life is. You got to hustle, and you got to motivate others. It can't just be about you and just what your goals are going to be. You got to motivate somebody. You got to motivate. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a person that has no value to you. So I mean, but that hustle's always gonna be there, and you can always tell yourself that, yo, hustle, hustle, hustle. Okay, now I gotta motivate, 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 because now I got that platform. So I mean, that was just facts.
And see, it was amazing that he took one, incorporated his name, and two, he took the element of hustle hard, but take another step and do it for someone else, because
Right.
that's really going to make the difference, and it's going to drop down the whole idea of envy and jealousy.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I mean, there's no need for it. There's so much room for us out here in this world, man. I mean, come on, come on.
So,
Come
bruh,
on.
I gotta ask, what's some of the backstory behind the Hustle and Motivate song? Because normally, to be very honest, bro, because everybody does like interviews, they like to go into the backstories of songs, and it's like I feel like some of that takes away from the person I'm interviewing, and it's like
Right,
you know,
right, right.
so I try to stay away from it. But I'm a sucker for Nipsey stories, and
Yeah.
and especially if it's one of my favorite songs, like literally I played that song probably 30,000 times.
Man, love it. Same here.
My Apple Music, like,
Man.
that's, it's an anthem. It's to get yourself going. And, my kids know every single word to it. And I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
That's a blessing, man. God bless you for that.
Brother.
Man, the backstory behind it. I was at home, and my guy Street Symphony, he came out here from Atlanta, so he was out here in LA, and we were locked in for a session with Dallas Martin. He's actually the senior VP at Atlantic Records. Initially, we were working on music for Meek Mill. So before I went to the session, I was just at home, just trying to get some ideas going. And then I go to a random kid, right? And I'm like, and I hear that Jay-Z Hard Knock Life. And I'm just like, hey, man, and let's see how we can have fun with this a little bit, And initially, I wasn't even going to show Street or, at the time, a few people that we were working with or even Dallas himself. So I was just like, okay, let's see what we could do. So, I made a simple loop. you know, took the sample, chopped it up, put some drums on it, kept it simple. And I was just like, okay, cool. Let's see how we could do this. We were in the session working on some Meek Mills stuff. And I'm like, hey, Street, you want to hear something real quick? He's just like, you know how Street's cool with everything. He's like, cool. Played it. You know, in the studio, it's a whole different vibe, man, when you can just blast that music and stuff. And he was just rocking to it. And I was just like, yo, we got something here. So he hops on, he adds a bass line, I'm adding a vocal chop to it. And unfortunately at the time, you know, no hate to anybody, but our former manager at the time said it was not going to get cleared. That record was not going to go through. And to me, I had the ultimate belief, and Street did too. So we were just like, okay, we understand that. And, you know, all love to him, man, great guy, but nah, we're going to make this work. And initially we were just like, one more time?
It put a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, that motivation came back in. I was just like, okay, we're going to show you what's going to happen, right? So, you know, Dallas, he heard the record, and, you know, we got a dope writer on it, got the hook back, and we're just like, oh, this could be dope for Meek Mill. Fortunately, at the time, Nip was also working too, but I think he was facilitating a deal with Atlantic, trying to get that going. You know, he was doing the independent thing at that time. So this was around, I believe, 2013 when we started on that. I know a lot of people do that too when I tell them about that. That was 2013. So when we were in the studio, you know, we did our thing. We sent it, got the writer on it, did his thing to it. And it's like, yo, Nip's working on something too. This will be dope. And it was Hussle and Motivate, Nipsey Hussle, Motivate. That's what he does. The next thing I find out is Street's like, yo, check your email real quick, right? So I hear the beat. I'm just like, okay, cool. I hear the hook on it. And then he's like, yo, make sure you fast forward to the end of it. And I hear Nip's voice on it. And I'm just like, wait, hold up, what? And then from there, man, it was history. It took some time, though. It took some time for that album to come out. Obviously, it took probably like another 3 years.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, you know, going through all the stuff, you know, clearing the sample. And we actually went back and, you know, we tried to take the original sample because I took the actual sample from the Jay-Z song. And you know how that business kind of gets tricky. But, man, God is good, man. And we made that happen, bro. And shout out to Dallas for that, too. Dallas Martin, Street, everybody, man, salute, man, for real, salute to them.
Man, let me ask you this. When you was making that loop and you decided to play that in the studio that night, did you have in your mind that you'd be telling this story probably for forever?
Nah, that's a lot of things that happens with a lot of music too. You never really know what's going to happen from it. But really what I found out, the stuff that you really think is not going to go through is the one that does go through. The stuff that you think is incredibly hot, and I'm just like, yo, this is the one right here. Nah, doesn't happen. It happens sometimes, but most of the time, it's the thing that you least expect, the record that you least expect, the beat that you least expect, the hook that you least expect, the vibe, the genre. And that was it. And it just worked. It was just like, that was his bop to it, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
That's amazing. No, that's an incredible story, bro, because, you know, it's loops and turns, and then at the end of it, it got done. Like, I got a story I got told about Victory Lap, and I had Sap on the show, Sound of a Pioneer, and he was like, man, I made this before I moved from Delaware to LA. He was already working with Mac Miller, but long story short, I'm gonna be brief. He was like, I made this beat, it didn't get used for 3 years, and I get called a week before Victory Lap dropped, and the name of the song I did was Victory Lap.
Crazy, man. And it really came down to the wire. It was like Game 7 right there. Game 7, Cavs against the Warriors.
Oh man, you know, I'm a Kobe fan, man.
Hey man, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
He's clutch.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man.
And you know, he definitely made all the power moves. I mean, double platinum. 8 songs on it went gold.
Yeah, man.
Platinum. I mean, it's all of that in there. And you know, I'm honored to have you on the show, number one, and number 2 to talk about it. Man. You know, it's incredible.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Absolutely, bro. It's a blessing to be on here, man. Thank you.
100, man. Let me ask you this real quick. What would you be doing if you weren't doing music?
if I wasn't doing music, I'll probably be doing something maybe in like business. I was studying business in college for some time. So probably something in that sector. I was doing entertainment and tourism. So I probably would have been in the entertainment business, but probably in some type of business capacity, maybe crunching some numbers or doing some books or maybe doing some accounting or something. I don't know, maybe something, but that wasn't that interesting to me at all from what I'm doing right now.
He said, if I'm gonna sit down at a
I'm doing
desk, I want it to be way more active. I don't need it to be
Oh
simple.
man. Yeah, I sit at a desk, but it's the desk I want to be at.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
off this cubicle, the only voice that gets loud is your own. So, the
Absolutely.
studio.
Yeah, turn that up and you good. And in all respect to anybody that works a 9 to 5 or, works in the office and everything, all love, support your family, support yourself. But man, I'm gonna do my thing.
You know what? It's not that we're trying to throw it in people's faces that we enjoy what we do, but
Yeah.
at the same time, if you have that gift and you have that drive and you're sitting there like, man, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I take that next step? We're doing this to show you that, we made the decision to do it and you should do it too. Don't be afraid. You got to walk by faith, not by sight. We've been talking about this all episode, doubt.
Absolutely.
And, I felt like that moment was important because, I've been that person. I managed a pizza place for 7 years, made them a whole bunch of money, and was like, this is not what I want to do. They trying to like make kid type shit. That ain't for me.
Right. And it has to be a passion. Yeah. I know we have to survive, and I know money is a necessity that we need to do what we need to do, take care of ourselves. But I mean, I'd rather do what I love, do what you love and appreciate it. And look where we at right now. So
yeah, it's way more meaningful that way.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Completely agree with that.
So, man, bro, I'm gonna take a pause on the music because I can probably talk to you about every song you've done, and I'd have a real joy out of it because I feel like I'd be in the studio with you. But I don't feel like that's fair to my viewers because they, it's one, it's a hot topic, and two, this is, let's see, my 97th episode I've done.
And congratulations. Congratulations, man.
Oh, yeah, no, thank you, brother. But no, I'm saying that to say this. I have this segment, it's my awareness segment. And, in light of everything that's going on, I definitely want to have you put your input on it being from LA and let's talk about it. Yeah, I'm talking about police interaction and, the red and blue lights, light being in the back of your neck, see who else is in the car, the blurp sound and people getting pulled over. And, I like to ask my guests, when was the last time they were pulled over and what's some advice they can give to somebody in a situation when they're pulled over? And I know this is heavy because of, things are going crazy right now. But, I feel like awareness is always key. And, things can be prevented to a degree. I mean, if you tell someone, take me to jail, we ain't got to go through all this extra shit. Just throw me in the back of the thing and we howling off. Then that's one thing.
Right.
But, people are, it's like, and we're not in the situation. I've been in the situations. My face hit the curb, all this shit. You get treated like everybody else.
Right. Yeah. It's a terrible time, and it's been going on for a while, dude. I think this has become, I think it's more magnified with social media, obviously, because, seeing it and stuff like that. But yeah, I've definitely been pulled over. I've definitely been pulled over by a cop. I mean, my biggest advice to everybody, man, is to just be calm in that situation and, make sure that you're right, and don't antagonize any of these guys, man, because some of these guys are just bullies with uniforms on, man. And it's unfortunate to really see what's been happening to a lot of people in our community and people in this world of color, and regardless of just being black at all, and it really hurts my heart too, because I mean, I have younger siblings as well, and I have friends and stuff like that, younger and older, that have been through experiences that have been detrimental to their lives based off of police brutality or police harassment and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's a struggle right now, but I support my people in the community, and whatever I could do, whether it's through music or a song to encourage, or even just giving my time or money or anything like that, like I would definitely do that. Any support I could do, being there. But it's a struggle. It's scary though, because I had being pulled over by a cop who was white. I definitely did get nervous. And I definitely made my judgments about them as a person. I haven't been harassed by a cop to that degree. But I definitely felt judged in that moment. Like I definitely had a target on my back at the time. So yeah.
You know, for a long time, it was a lot of people that grew up in the hood, grew up in poverty, where, pretty much when you see the police behind you, your immediate response is to turn right into the nearest parking lot or turn left
Yeah.
to the nearest outlet. And, it's unfortunate that now that's spread across to everybody. Well, just outside of poverty. Now people
Mm-hmm.
are really more scared of the police now than ever. And so, when I first did this, it was all about pretty much just awareness. I feel like more of what people should know what to do in the situation, the more power they have. And, knowledge is power, but when you use the knowledge, it's a superpower. And,
Absolutely.
start making
Yeah.
a difference with that.
Yeah. Totally agree with that. Absolutely.
So, man, I appreciate you taking the time and shed the light on that. Now let's have some fun. I have this segment called Trading Places. We take two iconic guys and we swap them. And, we've been talking about Nip all episode. So I was like, let's talk about the other guy we talked about this episode, Kobe Bryant. Let's have Kobe Bryant trade places with Phil Mickelson. And, you think that would work? Question number one.
Yes, I definitely think that would work, but not for Phil though. Not for Phil. Kobe, yes. For Phil, nah, it wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What would be one thing different if they traded places?
I think the difference is that Kobe just has that mentality. He has that drive to where he feels that he could do anything possible. And I saw an interview with him. I think it was on All Smoke with the All Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. And he was saying that, he doesn't think that he's competitive in every single aspect, whether it's like, oh, I'm the best at golf and I'm competitive in that degree, or I'm competitive in cooking a better meal than you. He's like, I know myself and I know what I'm great at. And I feel like his mindset can translate towards any industry. We've seen that. He's written books. He's done detail on ESPN. He's been a philanthropist. He's been an investor. So I think that mindset would translate. Now, I'm not hating on Phil because I think he's great. I haven't followed him that well, but I think there's two different beasts. I think Kobe's a beast, and I think Phil's he's good at what he does.
It's interesting because when you talked about Kobe, I thought about the moment of when, he tells the story of how he had to learn how to play the orchestra. And
Right.
he had to learn to play it for his wife. And by the time he got done being away from her, he learned the whole song.
That's crazy.
One of the hardest songs in the world to do. And he learned it just because he focused and put all his energy.
And that's crazy. He actually did it, like he was actually playing it right after a game. I think he played like maybe 40 minutes, had a trench coat on and the beanie, hair gone and everything. And he's just jamming away on the keys and stuff like that. But hey, I respect that, man. So
I got this next segment. It's called Impulse Q&A. Pretty much it's questions on cards. I pull them randomly. You got an option to pass, but you still got to answer 3 questions.
Okay, cool.
Question number 1. What's the funniest thing you've seen a kid do?
Fall flat on his face into some dog doo. That was a while ago too. That's when I was young. I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
That is pretty funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Question number 2. What makes you feel old?
Oof, man. When I could wake up in the morning and not even that, bro. Not even that. When I'm going to sleep early. I'm heading out and stuff. I actually had a conversation with somebody about this. When you go out and you know how you can stay out to probably 2 a.m., you're having a good time. I can't do it no more. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm like, ugh, I think I'm getting kind of tired. And you're waking up. Yeah, your knees kind of hurt. The hangovers hold on a little bit longer. Yeah, that's when I was like, okay, no more. I'll take a step back.
Bruh, I went to UC Santa Barbara for college, and I even had a job working for a liquor company. I don't even party like that no more, like at all.
Yeah,
If I'm gonna be up and out all night, it's because I'm at the studio or we did a
right.
concert and I had to drive back home that night.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Or unless I'm at like my cousin's house, or a friend's house or something like that, where I'm like, okay, I can fall asleep or something. Then cool. But
Right,
it's getting tough. It's getting tough. So,
man. What is one thing that is not supposed to be in a burrito?
man, for me, I'm gonna say beans. That's just me.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
I've never heard that one. I always hear onions or I
yeah,
hear hot sauce, but beans. Interesting.
yeah. Beans is my thing. Anytime I get a burrito, no beans, no cheese, man.
Bonus question. You stuck on a train ride for 6 hours. Who would you sit next to and talk to, dead or alive, and why?
Who am I sitting next to and talking to?
Uh-huh. For 6 hours on a train ride.
If I could choose anybody,
Yep, dead or alive.
man, 6 hours. I would definitely choose my guy right here, man. Definitely choose Cole. Definitely.
What you guys talk about?
Man, life, man, his determination. Where did it come from? How did he really get himself to, deal with those times where he felt that insecurity, that doubt, because I've dealt with that. How did he deal with the hurt in his life? How did he deal with with the issues that he had to go through when, he had his time and that whole situation with Utah and all that scandal and stuff like that? How did you bounce back? How did you make things work with your family and your wife and stuff like that? Just kind of dive deep into that personal life, kind of get that wisdom.
No, that's real. Because he wanted the few people that divorced his wife and got remarried and everything was still copacetic. That's like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I respect it, man. And just like what he's done, those injuries, that Achilles injury, how did you bounce back? What was going through your mind? Because I know I saw all the TV and interviews and stuff. He's like, yeah, I had to do this, but I really want to know, man, like when you were in your bed at night and you were just like, I can't do this anymore. Like what allowed you to really bounce back from that situation? Because at that point he could have been like, yo, I had a great career. I got my championships. I got my MVPs, but what motivated you to do that?
Man, I hope he's asking what was going through his mind when he walked back to that free throw to make that free throw when he tore his Achilles. Like,
I
damn, he took
know, man.
timeout, had to go to the bench, and then had to hobble back.
Go to the bench, man. You playing all these minutes all this year. Man, you can make the playoffs. It looked like they really was going to do some work in the playoffs, too. They was playing well. And, man, that lets you know that life is so unpredictable, man. Life is so unpredictable.
Oh, that's true. Trust me, the 03-04 series with the Pistons and the Lakers, that hurt us.
Oh,
Nobody thought the Pistons.
man. Nobody, man. And till this day, I will say they shouldn't have won that series. But, hey, we can debate that for hours, I'm sure, with Pistons fans.
Well, bro, you have survived my
Not us, not Laker fans. We know what's up.
It's all good, bro. But you survived my segments, bro. We went from awareness to the trading places to the in-post Q&A. And as a reward,
Yeah.
bro, let's promote. Let's talk about what you're working on, what you're excited for coming up.
Mm-hmm. Man, a lot of stuff's coming up right now. I am from Kenya, so I'm actually dropping a new record with this artist. His name is Kagwe Mungai. So the name of the record is called The Blame Game. That's going to be coming out this week, actually in 2 days on the 29th of this month. Yeah. We working, man. Me, Street, all my guys at Track Or Die, all my guys over there. We working on placements, working on some stuff I can't talk about, but you will be hearing about it soon. Independent artists that we're currently developing, we're working with them. And we just going, man. We're working on everything, bunch of film and TV stuff. We're just making it happen right now.
Would you rather develop your own artist or would you rather have a big artist on your record?
Oh, I think the gratification comes from developing and seeing that fruit of that labor and that seed grow. that's the gratification. Because I think a lot of people can get that big placement, but really going through that process, I've really learned to appreciate that process, man. Appreciate that grind and that struggle, you know.
Absolutely. Man, what's the goal before you're all said and done? And you say, I've done everything I wanted to accomplish in music.
Yeah. One more time, say that again.
What's the goal? What's the end goal before it's all said and done, and you're finished with music?
What's the end goal when I'm finished with music? Man, to live on an island that I bought and to enjoy the fruits of my labor, man. Man, just a big flex. Why not? You know, maybe when I'm 50 or something. I still got some time.
I ain't mad at you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as long as I don't gotta get a passport or nothing, we good.
Yeah, we good. We good. You gonna be there? We're gonna be podcasting, drinking Ciroc, Cocolosos, or maybe just some water or something.
Yeah, try some of that spring water from your island. It may be the best water ever.
Right, mineral water, all that.
Come on. So, man, if you notice, the show's unique, is different. I try to stay in the lane with what questions people ask, but I don't ask them the same way. I don't even use the same wording. And so,
right.
How do I keep this, this energy going? How do I close out my show and, keep that same energy? And I'm like, you know what? I got it. The viewers knows it's coming, and I'm gonna hit you with it. You got any questions for me?
Yeah. So what started you in the podcast game, man? I'm actually thinking about it myself. Like, how'd you get involved in it? How'd you start it up and, creating that platform?
Bruh, it took a lot of people to tell me no. No, you can join this podcast. I applied for jobs and I was overqualified for the radio station, and so that was a no. And so, you learn to take all these no's and figure out to turn into a yes. And, when you craft when you craft the format, it has to be one, you got to think what's going to be different than everything else, what's going to stand out. And then how are you going to execute it so that it does everything you say? The hardest thing about trying to represent an artist or like a product is that, you got to have people buy it and believe it the way you're selling it. And, my whole thing is that I'm genuine, and, I want to know the history, and I want to know the inside of, what got you to success and got you over that wall where most people just stop at because they're success. And, I've been doing this since December of 2019, and, I'm like 6 months in, and I'm blessed. I got connected and had some good interviews. People got behind it, and, I'm blessed.
Right. That's incredible, dude. Man, December 2019, I thought you was doing it for a lot longer, but that's what's up. You just started.
True. Honestly.
That's beautiful, bro. I love it.
Hey, I appreciate that, bro. That's real dope. Because I'm a big fan of your work. So that's, you made my history being on the show.
Hey, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. For real, for real. I love what you're doing, man. I'm going to support it, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Hey, what's happening? It's Contrast Uncut. It's Season 3, Episode 27. Man, big shout outs to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Present. I appreciate you, brothers. I wouldn't be able to do dope shit like interview this gentleman next to me on the side of the screen and, hearing his history of working with so many artists and, getting his first big opportunity with Lecrae and turning that into history. And, I'm talking about Track Or Die, T.O.D speaks. I appreciate you coming on the show, bro, and just, giving my viewers a slice of your life.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me a part of it. Thank you for taking the time out, man. Everybody tune in, tap in, get on the show, share it, everything that you need to do. We need to explode this platform to where it needs to be at. Let's go.
Man, salute to that. Like, it's real for real.
Absolutely, man. All family, no friends, man. Absolutely.
Yep. That's real bond, real tie.
What's up, y'all? This is T.O.D Speaks. Tapped in with Bobby D Presents and Uncle Snoop's Army. We on the podcast right now. Tap in.
Hey, Contrast Uncut. You gonna get dope shit every time. Man, I know you guys can't smell this right now, and I ain't talking about none of that other stuff. I'm talking about some of that good stuff, that smell good stuff. I think it's breakfast. What time is it? It's breakfast time. Make sure you tune in to Contrast Uncut no matter what you're doing. Whether you're eating breakfast, you're smelling good food like I'm smelling, or if you're smelling other stuff, we're good to watch too. Make sure you tune in. Thank you.